Good morning, afternoon. It's just after 12. I'm obviously not working because my throat can't take a lot of talking, and I know that I would have to do that if I was working. So I took it off. I will get on my work computer later and fill out my timesheet and all that jazz so I can get paid. So I think tomorrow's payday, actually. Anyway, I gotta take a shower. Get this nasty washed off. Yes. Get it washed off for sure, yeah. But other than a little sore right here, my muscles don't feel as tender as they did yesterday, which is great. Also, a combination of acetaminophen, not acetaminophen, combination of amoxicillin, Tylenol, and NyQuil. Don't do it, because while the NyQuil will make you sleep, it will give you indigestion here, and it will make you want to puke. Or at least it did for me. So I came downstairs thinking I had to burp, and I puked. Not a lot, but also that could have been a combination of all that and Wendy's. I don't know, but I won't do that again. We'll just fall asleep naturally next time. I didn't need the Tylenol. I didn't need to take the NyQuil. All right, well, I'm about to take a shower. Talk to you later. The only thing I don't like about this phone is that I can't change the text tone and keep it changed. Like, I can change it to individual text tones. That's what I like, is having individual text tones for each individual person. That's what I'd prefer, so that if they text, I'd be like, oh, that's Russ or whoever it is texting me. And then I know if it's something I need to look at right away or not, because my email, my Facebook, my texts, all of that is all the same tone, and I can't change it for good. Like, it'll change, like, I'll change it and then it'll be changed for a while, but then it just reverts back to its default or whatever, and I don't like it. Anyway, I'm done being upstairs, so I'm gonna go downstairs. Okay, bye. She's asleep. Why do dogs sleep like that? Oh, good morning. All right. Dogs sleeping are always fun, especially when they dream and their little paws are going, and they're like, ooh, ooh, and all that kind of jazz. Yeah, it's cute. Dogs are cute, okay. Anyway, it's bedtime. Shortly after 10, 11, shortly after 11, well, shortly after 10, when I had looked at my clock, my watch, my clock, I don't wear a watch, my phone. When I looked at my phone, in the middle of watching my episode, or in the beginning of watching my episode of How to Train Your Dragon. How to Get Away with Murder. That's what I've been watching. How to Get Away with Murder. Analyst Keating is in jail. Look, none of these are spoilers, alright? If you've never seen the show, it's been on for years. And if you've never seen the show, it's on you. I'm not spoiling. You're just behind. Anyway, so Annalise Keating gets to jail. She's in prison. And Bonnie, her lawyer assistant, I don't know, she's trying to get her out on bail or whatever, but she keeps getting denied. Well, the DA is after Annalise because of all the stuff. They just want to prove her guilty for some reason. So they're trying to argue that there's, like, biases and all this other kind of stuff, which there are. Now, during all this, well, she goes to jail. She went to jail because her house caught on fire. Her house caught on fire because we don't know why yet. Don't know how it happened, don't know who did it. Frank had run away, and he was the other assistant person who did like some dealings for Annalise. Got rid of problems, that kind of shady stuff. So he ran away from after Rebecca, someone that she was defending, ended up dead. Well, she was dead. Rebecca died because her legal assistant Bonnie actually ended up killing Rebecca. So, and we only found that out like later, end of season 2, I think it was, or beginning of season 3. I'm not really sure. Anyway, Wes is like, he got a grant and he was on the wait list or whatever, and Annalise knows Wes from Wes being a child. I guess she worked on one of Wes's cases. It wasn't Wes's case, his mother's case, I guess. When he was super little, and her mother, Wes's mother, ended up killing herself in front of Annalise, but Annalise didn't say anything at the time. Why? I'm not really sure. She could have just said, I was there, Wes's mom killed herself. I can't remember his mom's name. But she didn't. So Wes, growing up thinking his mom killed herself, suicide, finds out later that they tried to pin it on him. He was 11 at the time. So yeah, they like did a psych eval and interrogation and all that kind of stuff when he was like 11. And so he obviously didn't go to prison or whatever. So he's growing up thinking that his mom killed himself. Turns out mom did kill herself in front of Annalise. Annalise was there because she was trying to convince Wes's mom to testify against this big guy. I forget the guy's name. What did he do? Like a big corporate guy. And the big corporate guy was later on we later on find out that the big corporate guy is actually Wes's dad. So, Frank, I don't know why, it's unclear why he did this, but Frank tells Wes where he can find his dad. Wes, being the curious guy that he is, goes and locates his dad, and his dad's on the phone or whatever, about to get in a cab or something, into a car, and Wes is like, hello, and or whatever, and his dad's like, can I help you? As big business people do, because they don't have time for the little people. Wes goes, I think I'm your son. And he's about to say, my name is Wes, whatever his last name is, I can't remember. And then his dad gets shot in the head. We think Frank did it. Well, Frank did say to Wes that he did kill his dad. We're pretty sure that's what happened, but I'm not really sure why. And I think it's because it has to do with way back when, in one of the first trials that Annalise did with Wes. Annalise was pregnant at the time. She was like, I don't know, 8.5 months pregnant. She's about to give birth and all that kind of stuff. So Annalise is driving back from the courthouse, I believe, and the people that Wes's mom worked for is like mob ties or something. So they, one of the people seduced, what's the dude's name? I can't remember now. The hitman guy. I can't remember his name. I'm pretty sure I just said it a little bit ago. If I remember it, I will say it. Anyway, they seduced Annalise's, supposed to be Annalise's helper guy, and by they, I mean like the other attorney or something like that. But anyway, gave him a bunch of money to running to, I don't know if it was to run into Annalise's car, like, you know, cause an accident, T-bone her and stuff. So they did. They T-boned Annalise. And she went to the hospital. They did a C-section, but the baby didn't make it. So Annalise actually ends up hiring the guy, Frank. His name is Frank. So she ends up hiring Frank on the suggestion of his therapist, who ends up being Sam, which is Annalise's dad. So, so like these last 2 seasons, a lot of back and forth, like 10 years earlier, 3 months from now, or whatever, 2 weeks ago, that kind of back and forth kind of stuff. So you gotta keep it straight in your head, you know. So anyway, where was I? So they end up hiring Frank as his little assistant, kind of does the deal kind of things, you know, the kind of shady business stuff. And he just happens to be Italian. I don't know if that has anything to do with him. He's not really part of the mob, or maybe his family's part of the mob. I'm not really sure. We don't really know that much about the background of Frank. Anyway, okay, so Frank's now working for Annalise as his bodyguard, her bodyguard, or whatever the case is. And so we find all that out, and Frank tells Annalise, and he's super sorry about it. He's very upset. He's like going to kill himself in Annalise's house. Like, this is like present day or whatever. And so Annalise is like, do it! And Bonnie's like, no, I love you! And they had just slept together or something. And so Bonnie wins. Frank doesn't kill himself, but he does. Fast forward, we are on where after Annalise's house blows up, or catches fire, or whatever the case may be. Annalise's house is on fire, and Wes is dead, and so she's really sad about that, because it was basically, she wanted to protect Wes this whole time, because she had lost her own kid, you know, and I guess that was just kind of her way of like, her way of coping or whatever after so many years. I'm not really sure. I guess Wes would have been just only a few years older than her son, because she was going to have a son and then he died, obviously. Anyway, so Wes is dead, and we don't know who set Annalise's house on fire. We think it's Frank, because Laurel was at the house when the house caught fire, and I don't know why she was there, but I know that Wes went in, and I know that Laurel was there, and I know that lieutenant guy, what's his name, they were sleeping together, Annalise and him, I don't remember, but he works for the DA now. So he works for the DA, like a DA's assistant or whatever, because he didn't want to be fired, but I guess somebody had some ties or something and gave him the job at the DA's. Anyway, I can't remember his freaking name. I suck at names, but I know their face. Another black dude. And so, what am I trying to say? So he was there, and Wes was there, but obviously the cop guy, former cop guy, DA assistant guy, he got out of the house before the house went on fire. So now I'm thinking maybe he set the fire? Maybe he didn't set the fire. I don't know. But anyway, Laurel said she saw Frank leaving the basement, I guess before the house set on fire. And so Frank is trying to do good by Annalise for killing her son, by saying he was the one who set the house on fire. Nobody was supposed to be there. He did it because he's jealous, and Wes, because Laurel and Frank used to hook up, and so now Wes and Laurel are hooking up, and so Frank is like jealous about it because Laurel broke up with Frank, And that's what Frank is trying to say. He set the house on fire with Wes inside. Laurel wasn't supposed to be there, yada yada. So we're trying to now still, he wants to be in prison for this reason. So he's currently in prison, but not really on a permanent hold. They're still, like, his lawyers are still trying to, well, they were. His lawyers were still trying to get him off. Frank fired his lawyer. So Frank is now representing himself because he wants to be in prison. So, where I'm at right now is where Frank and Bonnie were on the phone talking because Bonnie is representing Annalise, and the court is trying to say that Annalise and Frank were co-conspirators in setting her house on fire for some unknown reason. Like, why would you set your own house on fire? I don't even know. That doesn't make any sense at all. Someone else's house, sure. But why would you set your own house on fire? All your stuff is there. Okay, so she doesn't need the insurance money. Can't be for that. She's a big-time lawyer. So Annalise gets released from prison because she made one of the prisoners beat her up. Just on the face. And so then Bonnie comes and takes pictures of Annalise so that she has something to show the DA to be like, my client is in prison, and you keep denying her bail, and people know Annalise from previous trials, and then her life is in danger, and so on and so forth. So she's no longer in prison. Annalise is out of prison. I don't know if she's on house arrest or what, but she's safe. She's out of prison, and so they're still trying to figure out who actually burned down the house. I'm starting to think it's the DA guy now, because I really wish I could remember his name. Because, like, he was in the house when Wes showed up. Like, I guess he was in the house before Wes. That's how the last episode I just watched ended. He was in the house. He's like, Annalise. And then he comes down the stairs and there's Wes. And so I'm like, interesting. So that's where I'm at right now, and I don't know what else is going to happen, so I'll fill you in the next time I watch it. Tomorrow, though, this weekend, I should say, I won't be at home. Well, tomorrow I'll be at home for most of the day. I actually ordered for pickup through Walmart. So I'm going to try the Walmart pickup tomorrow morning. I got to pick it up between 9 and 10, and I will be there because I don't sleep in anymore because I'm old, I guess. Oh, pardon me. Last night, oh my God, I could not burp. I couldn't burp at all. I think I said that this morning, but I'm going to tell you more. I couldn't burp at all, so I'm like, okay, like feeling, the pressure or whatever. I'm like, okay, I can't burp, it feels like I'm going to go throw up, so I'm going to go downstairs. So I went downstairs in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make myself throw up, or make myself burp by hanging my head over the toilet. I ended up throwing up, and it wasn't a lot, like I think I said this morning. It wasn't a lot, but it sure felt better. Okay, so I've talked quite a bit more than I have the entire day. It's been 16 minutes and counting since I started this little clip. I'm about to go to bed. So have yourself a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Toodles.